trusted nutrition from St. Louis for St. Louis.
Welcome to Extra Innings, presented by Great Bar. Great Bar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs. And by Circa Sports. Circa Sports. Sports betting the way it should be. On the voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
Alvarez puts the target down. The pitch is swung on and missed, and this game has come to an end. The Mets take game one of the three-game series, 4-2.
Cardinals end up losing today by a 4-2 score. Welcome in. This is the Extra Innings Show right here on KMOX. My name is Matt Pauley. Great to have you with us tonight. If you would like to join us on the program, you can do so multiple ways to get connected. You can call or text 314-436-7900. That's 314-436-7900. You can also tweet at me if you'd like, at Matt Pauley on air, MattPauley on air. Or for those of you who are watching on the video stream, we certainly welcome in your comments on the video chat as we take you through the course of the evening after this Cardinals loss tonight. I guess we'll start with the negatives. They only scored the 2 runs on 5 hits, a quiet night offensively. Really the first quiet game we've seen from them offensively. They had scored at least 6 runs in each of their first 3 games, but tonight they were certainly stymied. 2 runs on 5 hits. Good to see Nolan Gorman hit another home run. I think that is something that, look, as you look at this season and start to kind of put together in your mind the various things that you have to see for the team to have more success than maybe the outside world is saying that they're going to have, well, then one of the things that can be part of that equation for sure is Nolan Gorman being a dangerous middle of the order bat. And everything we say on this program has that caveat that we're still really, really early on in the season, right? Like we certainly understand that. But some of this stuff will last, some of it won't last. And that's going to be the question. You know, Jordan Walker today hit the ball hard, drew a walk, got a base hit. Like it was another good day for Jordan Walker. Is that going to last or is it not going to last? Those are the questions that we are going to be watching here, especially over the first couple months of the season. And for the most part, over the first 4 games, I feel like the offensive stories have been pretty good. And especially from guys that you wanted to see take a step forward. Not everybody. You know, Mason Wynn goes 0 for 3 today. He's hitting 176 in the very, very early going on the season. And if you had him batting lower in the order, that wouldn't matter so much. But Wynn is being expected to be kind of a core member of this group, and he's in a really important spot in the lineup as they've got him batting 4th right now in the cleanup spot. And you just look for those opportunities to be able to see him take that step forward. So I think that we're going to talk about that a lot this year. And I'm not trying to be dismissive of the impact of any game from one game to the next. I just think when we evaluate things, I think we do it kind of in 2 ways. We evaluate it for what it is in that moment in the game, but also evaluate it for what it could mean for the team moving forward. As mentioned, Kyle Leahy got the start today. He went 5 innings, giving up 4 runs on 8 hits, 1 strikeout, 2 walks. Let's listen in to Kyle Leahy. He met with the media not that long ago in the clubhouse, and this is what he had to say about his day.
There was some good, there was some bad, but ultimately I didn't pitch well enough for us to win the game, and that's the goal at the end of the day.
We take away from kind of the way your stuff changed a little as the innings wore on and you got deeper into that game.
Yeah, that's just part of the transition for my body of getting used to this again. I felt really good early, and I thought I pitched with not my best stuff today and still competed as hard as I could. But yeah, that's just a build-up thing, and hopefully I'll be better off as the year goes.
That was the way Ali framed it, was in terms of it being good for you to kind of feel the 5th, kind of push toward what the guys could look at that about the way you look at it too.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think at one time you had 8 ground ball outs. What did that say about your stuff? Did that tell you anything about your stuff?
It was it was good to keep the ball on the ground. Obviously I would like for some more swing and miss, but I had a lot of traffic on the bases, so I was trying to force the issue and maybe get double plays and stuff like that. But it was good to keep the ball some on the ground and limit hard contact. I know there was some, but limit it as best I could.
You mentioned there were some good, some bad. What were some of the things you thought you did well today?
I made a lot of good pitches with runners on, but then I made some not great pitches to let those runners get on. So definitely a lot to learn from this one, and I'll be better as it goes.
For you, just didn't have getting to navigate lineup when you see him a couple times through, what was kind of getting back to that process like in a setting like this?
Yeah, their order's not a bad lineup by any means. So seeing the top of their lineup multiple times, 3 times, and using different pitches to get them out, I thought I did a decent job of handling that today. So that's a positive.
Dusty and Ollie have talked about you're one of the best at like going back and breaking down your outing. What does that process look like for you now to get something out of this?
I'll definitely go back. As the game went, I was between innings talking with Dusty, going over each inning, and so I already have sort of gone over the whole game. But right now, in this moment, it's about eating something good and recovering as best I can. So the next time out there, I can maintain a little bit longer throughout the outing. It's all about those little things, as well as looking at execution. And I didn't control counts maybe as well as I could have today. First pitches of innings I kind of struggled with, which is kind of odd. So just little things like that I'll address and maybe have to do something different with my if I think I need to, like we'll assess, do something different, like between innings or all that. So
that is Kyle Leahy, Cardinals starting pitcher, speaking to the media after the game today. Got a text message from 314 from Nathan, says, I am encouraged that Leahy was able to extend in the 6th inning today. I'm very curious to see how Andre Palante does tomorrow and early in the year. The only way this team contends if it's Leahy or Palante or others exceed expectations at the back end of the rotation. For this team to be better than expected, there's a lot of things that have to happen. I think this is a pitching group that can, for the most part, keep the team in games more often than not. And Leahy did that today. I think in a perfect world, you get a little bit more out of Leahy than you did today. 4 runs in 5 innings. That's a +7 ERA. If you do that every single time out, that's not great. When you just look at it for what it is today, I don't think anybody feels like Kyle Leahy pitched poorly today. I don't think anybody feels like he really pitched well today. It's just the case of it's his first time out. You'd like to see a little bit more. Obviously, that is a really, really good Mets team and a very good lineup to go navigate through, but certainly a situation where you would like to get a little bit more out of Kyle Leahy, but I also think that is a good first appearance for him. Let's go ahead and get to our insurance runs of the game. It is sponsored by Lang Insurance in St. Charles, proudly representing auto owners insurance. And unfortunately, when we're talking about the insurance runs today, we've got to talk about it from a Mets perspective, as they were able to add on by scoring 2 runs in the 6th inning after this game had been knotted up for a while. In the 6th inning for the Mets, Brett Beatty led the inning off with a base hit, and then that brought up Jared Young.
It's Leahy tonight. His 3-2 pitch. That's hit hard toward the gap in right center field, and it's going to get down and go to the wall. Beatty comes around third base. He's being waved around, and he's going to score. It's an RBI double for Jared Young, his first hit of the season. And it's a 2-run lead for the Mets at 3-1.
And that ended up being the winning run for the game one. Soto later in the inning would draw a bases-loaded walk from Matt Swanson. But that is our insurance run of the game, sponsored by Lang Insurance in St. Charles, proudly representing auto owners insurance. We'll take a break. We got a lot more to get to. Can continue to take your phone calls and text messages if you want to get in here before the show comes to an end. 314-436-7900, 314-436-7900. You can also tweet at me, also leave a comment on the video stream. We're getting a bunch of messages. We'll start to go through some of those as well in just a moment. Don't go anywhere. You are locked in. This is the Extra Innings Show right here on KMOX.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
There's a difference between liking a house and actually getting it. Redfin is built to make up that difference and close the gap between finding and owning the home for you. Redfin agents close twice as many deals as other agents, so when you find a home you love, you're not a step behind when it's time to make an offer. That means less watching great homes disappear and more focus on the ones you'll actually move into and call home. Redfin helps turn saved listings into real addresses. Get started at redfin.com. Own the dream.
Carpal tunnel syndrome, heart failure that doesn't improve with common medicines. These are some signs and symptoms associated with ATTR-CM, or the cardiomyopathy of ATTR amyloidosis, a serious heart condition with symptoms that get worse over time. Amvuttra, vutrisiran, is a prescription medicine given by a healthcare provider that treats ATTR-CM in adults to reduce heart-related death, hospital stays, and urgent visits. In a clinical study, Amvuttra was proven to help people live longer and have fewer heart-related hospital stays and urgent visits over 3 years compared to placebo. Amvuttra lowers the amount of vitamin A in your blood, which can affect vision. Other side effects include pain in the arms or legs, pain in the joints, and shortness of breath. These are not all the possible side effects of Amvuttra. For prescribing information, call 1-833-256-2748 or learn more at amvuttra.com. Ask your doctor about Amvuttra for ATTR-CM.
Now, back to Extra Innings, presented by Great Bar. Great Bar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs. And by Circus Sports. Circus Sports. Sports betting the way it should be. On the voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
Now the pitch. A swing and a hit to right field. Burleson drives in. Weatherholt, we're tied at 1 in the first inning.
Good to see Alec Burleson continue to have a strong start to the season. I went over these numbers during the network post-game show, but let's do them again. In fact, this is By the Numbers, which is sponsored by Bank of Springfield. Bank boldly, bank with BOS, member FDIC. So let's go through what we've seen from Alec Burleson so far. He drives in his team-leading 5th run of the season. He's got the most RBIs by a Cardinals first baseman through the first 4 games of a season since Paul Goldschmidt had 7 back in 2019. And some of the other numbers for Alec Burleson with what he did today, he's now reached base safely in 13 straight starts against the Mets. That's the longest by a Cardinals player since Wilson Contreras had a 19-game streak that stretched from June of 23 to May of 25. Also, it's the longest by a St. Louis lefty since Brendan Donovan had a 16-game run that started in April of 22 and went to April of 2025. So good stuff so far from Alec Burleson. Time for our cut of the game. Our cut of the game is sponsored by The Diamond Shop, thediamondshop.net. Let's listen in as Nolan Gorman comes up to the plate in the 6th inning.
Holmes with the pitch. Gorman hits a high fly ball right field. Way back to the wall and gone. A home run, and the Cardinals are down by 2. Gorman's 2nd home run in as many days.
So Gorman hits the home run. Again, that is our cut of the game sponsored by The Diamond Shop, thediamondshop.net. Gorman hitting a home run in consecutive games for an 11th time in his career. His home run left the bat at 110.3 miles per hour. That marked the hardest hit ball of the season this year for him, and the 2nd hardest hit by a Cardinal player in 2026, the Jordan Walker double that left the bat at 114.9 miles per hour. That's the hardest hit ball by a Cardinal this year. At the time, it was the hardest hit ball in all of Major League Baseball this season. I'm not sure if that is still a true thing, but at the moment, it very much was. So Nolan Gorman hits the home run. He spoke with the media not that long ago. Happy that he's swinging it well, but at the same time, certainly wants to win games like these.
It's been good, but I'm more focused on wins. Whatever I can do to help is a plus.
personally for you, Ollie said that he felt like you're just not trying to do too much in the box. Is that how you're kind of seeing it, letting the pitches kind of come to you?
Yeah, I think making some good swing decisions, being on time, and putting good swing on the ball.
Nolan, the ability of this offense, really going, even tonight after that first inning, to keep punching back, to keep firing back, how important is that going to be for you all as the season drags on?
It's huge. We got a gritty team, so it's going to be a lot of fun for 162 games, and we've shown that fire throughout the whole game.
Nolan, how much does it help you find a rhythm when you show up at the ballpark? You know you're going to be in the lineup every day.
It helps, but like I said, I'm just trying to go out there and do whatever I can to help this team and get some W's.
That was a cutter up, I think. Did you see it out of his hand pretty clearly?
Yeah. He attacked Burley the same way with the first two pitches, and then threw him a changeup. So had the changeup in the back of my mind, and then was able to just react.
Mm-hmm. He had thrown that cutter to you on the pitch before, right? How much does that also kind of add to seeing it and just kind of being able to adjust?
Yeah, I think he located that one a little bit better than obviously the one I hit. So, and he wasn't throwing it much in the game. I don't think he really needed it. But yeah.
What's it been like seeing Burley over at first base? I mean, he had a dig for Mason. I think he may have had one for you. I mean,
maybe.
that's the position he played in college. I mean, that's where he's most comfortable, probably, right?
Yeah, he's really good over there, and we're fortunate to have him. He's going to help us out a lot over there.
Mm-hmm.
That was Nolan Gorman speaking with the media just a few moments ago as the Cardinals lose to the Mets 4-2. Let's go through some of the comments that have come in on the video stream. Brandon says, I love my team no matter what. They're not going to be bad. Media just likes to be negative and have something to talk about. Brandon, I think this team's going to be very respectable, and I've said that over and over and over. So if you're talking about me when you say that media likes to be negative, you got that one wrong, because I have long said this team is going to be better than what the outside world thinks it's going to be. I don't know how much better that is. That doesn't mean that they're going to be competing for a division. That doesn't even mean they're going to be an above 500 team. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. But this is going to be a competitive team. This is going to be a fun team. So that's going to be the way that I look at it until they prove me wrong. But I think this is going to be a team that's going to be enjoyable to watch. Another message comes in, says, I guess I should have some more patience, but Leahy was a stud in the bullpen last year, and we could use that help slide Fitz or Matthews into the rotation. Yeah, your first sentence, I think, is correct, that you should have some more patience. I don't think Richard Fitz will be getting major league starts at some point in time. Hunter Dobbins he's getting healthier and healthier. He's on the injured list right now, but he's on a rehab assignment with Memphis. So those are the first two guys. Quinn Matthews hasn't done enough yet, I think, to be considered for that. But the more important thing here is starting pitchers are so much more valuable than relief pitchers. So much more valuable than relief pitchers. You can always go find relief pitching. You can't always go find starting pitching. And if it doesn't work for Kyle Leahy as a starter, you can always return him to the bullpen at some point in time. But he's got the profile of a starter because of all the pitches that he has. This is the kind of year where it makes sense to go and give him every opportunity in the world to be a starter. Because if he can be a starter and be a good starter, a respectable starter, he is so much more valuable than anything he did last year as a relief pitcher. So I get where you're coming from, but I would respectfully disagree. You got to play this thing out with Leahy as long as you possibly can. Message comes in from Adam, says this season is about growth. It'd be amazing if anyone in the rotation but Libby makes it through the entire season with a sub-4 ERA. I don't know about mate. I don't think there's any guarantee that any of them will be sub-4. I understand. I don't think that's a crazy thing that you're saying. If it goes really well for Dustin May this year, he obviously could be below that number. I think the same thing with Michael McGreevy. any of these guys, I think, could have that year, but there's no guarantee. That's one to watch this year. That is one to watch this year. That is something that is interesting for sure. Bryce says going to be lots and ups and downs this year. I agree. And the thing that I think is going to be most important for this club is making sure that in the downs, they continue to play with energy. They continue to pull in the same direction. They're doing all these things that are easier when you're winning, and that I think the team is doing right now. But yeah, I would agree that this is going to be a year where there's going to be ups and downs for sure. We got Aaron who sent a message in, and Aaron is a regular, says it's going to be a long, hard season, pretty much a throwaway season. I disagree. First off, I don't think there are throwaway seasons in Major League Baseball. There just are not. No matter what's going on with a team, you're always building for something. There's players that you want to see develop. And look, the things, Aaron, I know you, like, I see your messages constantly, whether it's this show or other shows. You're 99% negative. So I know where you're coming from. But like, even you have to acknowledge the fact that while it's only 4 games, it's a good development with what we've seen from Jordan Walker. And if this, no, Jordan Walker has given us more false hope than any other player for the Cardinals in a while, because he'll have a good series, a good week, and then it will just fall back. And there's nothing that says that this isn't going to be another one of those. But also, if he ever does put it together, it has to start somewhere. If that ever happens for him, there is going to be a starting point. And maybe this is the starting point. Maybe it's not. I'm not making a prediction one way or another, but that's a really good development. And you don't have good developments in throwaway seasons, because in throwaway seasons, nothing matters. Nolan Gorman hitting home runs and showing the power that he is showing. That's good. Even somebody like George Soriano, that's been a nice pickup, and he is showing the ability here very early on in the season to be a piece out of the bullpen. So again, we'll see what all this looks like a week from now, 2 weeks from now, a month from now, 2 months from now, 3 months from now. This is my least favorite time of the year to be doing these shows, just because I don't know what's real and what's not. And nobody does. It's baseball. It's early on in the season. I don't want to use the term small sample size, because I feel like listeners have been reminded of the small sample size by people like me over and over and over again. But I don't know what's real, and it's hard for me to make predictions on that. And all I can say is right now, I don't think it's been bad. Got a message asking for a switch in the lineup where Wynn would go to the 2 spot and Herrera would go to the cleanup spot. Generally speaking, the way lineups are built today, you put your best hitter in the 2 spot. You know, they're not your leadoff hitter, but you get them as many at bats as possible. So I don't have a problem with Herrera in the 2 spot. Do I love Wynn in the leadoff spot? Not really. But at the same time, like, I do think that part of what's going on this year is going and finding core members of the team and telling them, hey, you're a big part of this. Hey, you're important. We want you in a certain role. You know, it's a weird analogy, but, you know, the old, like, dress for the job that you want sort of thing. Like, that's what's going on. Mason Wynn is a guy who's going to be a big part of this team moving forward. So go put him in a really important spot in the lineup. Now, if we walk in tomorrow and Wynn's batting in the 2 spot and Herrera's in the 4 spot, I'm not going to be upset about it. I get it. I'm fine. But I do think Herrera gives you the opportunity in the 2 spot to probably score the most runs. And he is somebody who's still trying to get things going himself. You know, Wynn's having a better offensive season right now than Ivan Herrera. We know who Herrera is as a hitter for sure, and the numbers he's putting up are not going to last. He's that legit middle of the border, power bat. I still think there are questions on who Mason Wynn is as an offensive player. I have spoken ad nauseum saying that last year when his numbers dipped, I thought it was because of the knee. I thought he was playing compromised. and when he was healthy. I mean, you can go look at his season last year and go month by month, and you see the really good numbers. And then, when he was dealing with the knee issue, and you saw the numbers start to fall off from there. So still early on. We're 4 games into the season. I'm not changing the lineup. I'm not moving guys out of the rotation. I'm not changing roles. I'm not doing any of those things. You just go with what you're going at with right now, and you go from there. So that's what I would say with all that. All right, that is just about going to do it for this edition of the program. Again, we do this after every game. I know, especially from a social media standpoint, I've picked up a few more social media followers here lately. Maybe they're finding this program for the first time ever. We are with you every single night after the game. I generally have you on the weekdays. Joe Pott generally has you on weekends. So it's a great opportunity for us to all talk Cardinals baseball together. Thanks so much for being tuned in, and we will talk to you again tomorrow for more Cardinals baseball here on the home of the Cardinals, KMOX.
The Diamond Shop, making St. Louis sparkle for over 100